Too late. Who is this? You know what? He looked fine. This nigga looked like Miguel from Spider-Man. Miles Morales, but he looked devious. He might be guilty. What you mean he was like, what the fuck was you doing? Pull him. So, recap of what happened. Shit, my bad. Last time I streamed, oh yeah, did y'all peep the new mic? That shit smooth, ain't it? Clear as day. So now when I start squealing and screaming, y'all gonna hear that shit clear as hell. I ain't gonna hold you. But so okay, the reason why we have to do pick another game and not continue the one I started last stream is because they don't have any more goddamn episodes. Like, nigga, that story was fire. I was feeling all the characters. Like, what? Especially Blue Hair. Blue Hair was talking mad crazy, right? So, I'm gonna have to spin the wheel again. And then once they make the new episodes for that series, we'll just immediately hop back on that one. Cause that shit was good. I'm not leaving that shit alone. I can't. Alright, so let's spin the wheel. Hopefully we spin something lucky. So I'm gonna explain the spin the wheel to any new people. So, spin the wheel. Whatever number I get, I go to Itch.io. I already got a whole fucking, you know what I'm saying? I think look at the number. Picked out 163 games. We got done with 2 of them, basically. Really done with 1, but this has got the whole list. So I'm gonna just find the number that we picked, and we're gonna play that one until it's done, or until we do 2 routes. That's my thing. We're gonna do 2 or more routes, then we can call it finished. All right, wish me luck. I'm gonna spin this shit. $81. God damn, that's a lot of counting. Alright. 81. Let's see. About this one, I think this shit do bang. I think this shit do go hard. I think this shit on Steam, actually. This look nice. This game is intended for a mature audience. It contains many themes that would offend sensitivity of younger players. A complete list of trigger warnings is available on our store page. You are going to play a demo version of this game, thus the content might be subject to change and some features may be missing, such as the diplomacy feature. Alright, you know what, we gonna wing it. You need to spend your resources carefully. Let's do story. Alright, name we gonna do. You already know the name. You have love fighting since you were a child, although you were not allowed on the battlefield. You are in excellent physical shape, and your swordsmanship rivals of that of a man. Okay. What's the other one? When you were younger, you almost became a scholar. Your love of reading and learning has given you knowledge in many fields, including astronomy, theology, and botany. I'm not feeling that one. You have mastered the art of diplomacy and eloquence. You can improvise inspiring speeches in an instant, and you know the first names of every noble over 3 generations. Damn. Alright, money. Let's see. Numbers and resources management hold no secret for you, and you have excellent relations with merchants. You are good at mental no, it's too late at night. And shit. And know all the subtitles of that is not subtitles. Sublitties of tithes and other taxes, not only from Calidia, but also from your neighbors. Not gonna lie, I want to be strong. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm going for that one. Can we? Are we able to customize her? Oh yeah, there you go. I'm a little darker than that. I'm a little darker. Yeah. We don't go medium route. Let's see. I ain't got no medium route. Alright, eyes. Okay. Hold on. We got lock in. Let's go back. Dreads. What we thinking, y'all? What we thinking, y'all? I could go with the white dreads. I wish we could change the hair color, because why my shit gotta be white? Might have to go. Fuck. I want to go this route. Since I have it down right now, I ain't gonna hold you. You see it in my eyes, yeah. Change the color of my eyes. Let's go purple. Yeah, I love me some purple. There we go. What the fuck just happened? Alright. So we got purple, dread hair, eyes. We're strong as shit. This is finna be fire. Let's go. Oh, customizations on this screen will not be reflected in the illustrations. The match options adapt your outfit into the illustrations, not the other way around. To change your outfit during the game, click on extra outfit. Alright. You know what? She looked bad either way. I ain't gonna hold you. Wait a minute. So yeah, I like this one. Oh, you can pick which way you want your hair. Let's see. Formal. If we go on formal, we'll go. Oh. Bun. Outfit. Oh, we can pick from the. You got more dresses? What you do? Uh-oh. Hey, she look kind of fire with that. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know. This is hard. Y'all giving me too many dress options. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's pretty. That's real pretty. That's real pretty. I like what they got, honestly. I like that. This is fire. Crown. Crown, you say? Okay, huh? Let me see if I can change the fight for the outfit. Oh, it was between those. Okay, I like that one anyways. Alright, casual. Casual, I'll keep that casual. Then, outfit. Casual? I think that is a casual fit. We'll do that for casual, I think. I can see that. I can see that for casual. Jewelry. I like that one. I like it. Alright. That's casual nighttime. we we finna have some. Hey, if we have something in our, hey, we gotta look good. Oh, not gonna lie, the rope would look way sexier than this. It's like wearing a goddamn dress. Jewelry, okay. Should I fuck with this? Switch outfit to match. Wait, what does that mean? Wait, at the start of the scene, you have illustration. Come on, we switch to your to match one used in the illustration. We don't have the means to make every. Wait a minute. Switch outfit to match the illustration. At the start scene, that illustration. I don't know. Should I keep that? I think I'm gonna keep it. All right. Fuck it. We should find. All right. Prolong. Your grace. A panicked voice resonated in my dream like an echo. A few moments before I understood that it came from somewhere else, and I woke up in a jolt, disoriented. The palpable feeling of urgency has brought me to my senses, but it still took me a few seconds to recognize the advisor's voice as well as the room I was in. Your Highness, I bring terrible news. Your father was assassinated last night. Dang, got took out like that? Damn. I was ready to hear just about anything. Managing crisis was an important part of royalty after all, and yet I was completely stunned by the news. My father was dead at the hands of an assassin, just a few rooms away from me. Damn. All the implications from this revelation bounced through my head, drenched in doubt and fear concerning my own security in the future realm of Calidia. I beg your pardon, Your Highness. I was too late. Who is this? You know what? He looked fine. This nigga looked like Miguel from Spider Miles Morales, but he looked devious. He might be guilty. What you mean he was like, what the fuck was you doing? Pulling myself out from the Lagarthy, whatever. I looked down on Alexander, who knelt next to my bed, his head bent low as the weight of his shame topped him from getting up. Whatever went down, I knew he had nothing to be ashamed of. When I was just a child, I already admired his talents, and they grew steadfast with the age and position of general. His presence here was a relief. I didn't know the assassin's true full intentions, but even if they were after me, as long as Alexander was by my side, I didn't have anything to worry about. Don't put yourself down like this. You aren't responsible for what happened. We'll bring the revenge side to justice side. Still mortified, Alexander stayed on his knees. I could see his fingers twitch a little, proof he wasn't completely convinced, but he nodded his approval all the same, transported by the firmness of his voice. As for me, now Leah was dead. Many would have broken down after hearing such news, but for years now I hadn't held an ounce of affection for him. His death was actually good news to me. Damn. It marked the beginning of a new era, a better one, I hope. An era for which I'd be preparing ever since I realized that this was my identity. Oh, so you taking over. Oh, shit. I was to succeed him. I was to be the empress. But it wasn't yet time for celebration. Although I was his legitimate heir to the throne, I had plenty of distractors, and I still need to figure out why the assassination had taken place. I had many questions about the killer's identity and motivations. I was lost in thought, and it took me a while to realize that Alden Wow. Alden and Alexander were staring at me, worried surely, awaiting a reaction or declaration from me. Both had known me since early childhood. They knew the amenity I felt for the emperor, and I trusted them enough to set all pretense aside. But it was perhaps a little inappropriate to rejoice over my future title while my father's dead corpse was still warm. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Yeah, he kind of fine. I ain't gonna hold you. He like night fine. I can see that. After taking a deep breath, I threw off my covers and got up, eyeing them. Stay neutral. I ain't gonna hold you. Because they know. I ain't gonna fake it. But then again, I'm not finna cheer in their face. Gloating seemed a tad indecent. But I could at least spare myself the pretense of being the grieving orphan that I would surely need to be in front of the court. What I feel isn't important. You don't have to worry about me. What matters most is our nation, and we all know that the sudden death of the emperor is a delicate situation. At the moment, the most important thing is to preserve the kingdom's stability. I'm counting on you to protect and serve me. This won't be an easy task, but I'm sure we can accomplish great things. This time, Alexander got up, putting his hand on his sheath in a dignified and military pose. At your service, Your Highness. May the four witness my oath. I solemnly swear that I will protect you until my dying breath. Empathetic, he bowed down before lifting his eyes up to me. I smiled and accepted his allegiance with a certain poise, despite my unkempt hair and my nightgown. Majori? What? I guess that's her name. Majori, my tutor, often told me that everything about me showed nobility, that I didn't need any props to act like an empress. Today I understood what she had meant. Alden, however, didn't seem to share the general's favor. Forgive me, Your Majesty, for tarnishing your enthusiasm, but there is a very delicate question that I have to ask. Have you had your father killed? This abrupt question threw me off, and I stared at him, wavering between surprise and indignation. How dare you even suggest such a possibility? You're going too far, advisor. Come on, don't be offended. You said it yourself. You hated your father since the death of your brother. You've always held him responsible for it. And your father dies on the very day you return to the palace. Whatever your answer is, I'll accept it, but I need to know. I felt anger rise within me at these words, and I walked to the window to breathe some fresh air. After a few deep inhales, I finally turned around to face him and gave him my answer in a firm voice. On one hand, my presence here isn't a coincidence. The emperor celebrates, or rather was about to celebrate, his birthday in 2 days. Half of the empire's noblemen are here. It's undeniable that the event presented the perfect opportunity to strike. The palace is swarming with unknown guards and servants. It's much harder to provide security in these circumstances. Exactly. On the other hand, your suspicions are an insult to my intelligence advisor. After a reconciled, the hair is always suspected. If I had really wanted to speed up fate, you better believe I would have been smarter about it. Marjorie taught me the rules of the game. I would never risk losing everything in such a foolish way. I know my ascension to the throne will already be difficult because I am a woman. I'll state it plainly if it can relieve your doubts, but listen closely because I will not repeat myself. No, I did not have my father assassinated. My eyes trained on him. I lost my arms, almost daring to contradict me as I kept a lid on my fury. Auden seemed to gauge me over a moment, then he nodded in assent and apology. Please forgive me, Your Grace. As soon as possible, I alert the Master of Murmurs and will launch an investigation to uncover the truth and bring justice to your father. I would have preferred more vivid regrets, but under the circumstances, this is enough, and I felt my anger slowly fade away. I accept your apology. Let's not speak of this again. There are more urgent things to do. The news will, no doubt, make a commotion. You asked us to swear allegiance to you. I assume you will try to claim your rightful place at the hair. Your Grace? It's my destiny. Talk your shit. I heaved a deep sigh and mustered all my determination to answer his question without leaving any doubts as to my intentions. I realized a while ago that this was my destiny. Whether I like it or not, I don't really have a choice, and I'm not the one to do things half-heartedly. I know there are many people with the direct line of succession, but if you truly don't want to, I believe one of you bastard brothers, I believe one of your bastard brothers would do the trick. You know full well that my cousins would covet the position. This would mean the start of a succession war that would drown the kingdom in fire and blood. Even if by some miracle the nobility came out in favor of one of my half-brothers, there's no guarantee it would all go well. They know nothing of politics. They'd be nothing more than puppets, or even worse, incompetents. By birth, I have a responsibility to the people of this country, and I don't intend to shrink it. In any case, even if I were retired my estate to manage it, I would still be a potential threat to their region. I'll never be safe, even if I were to completely relinquish my right to the throne. There's no doubt about it. I have to be the next empress. Only time will tell, but I think I am the best possible choice under the circumstances. I don't doubt that, Your Grace. In fact, I'm rather relieved that you seem to see you have already thought about it. Like you said, our country needs stability. We can't get away with a weak-willed monarch on the throne. I'm sure you'll be a wonderful empress. He talking sweet to me. I ain't. His words were barely a whisper, but I was sure of what I had heard, and my cheeks felt reddened. Aw, you got a crush on him. Reddened a little. He seemed embarrassed by his own boldness and blushed more violently than me, while I flashed him a smile to reassure him. It had been years since I had last heard him call me by my name. Even if I had no doubts about my own abilities, it was always refreshing to see the trust he gave me. I cleared my throat and regained my composure so that I could give my orders. This would be a long night. Who else knows about the assassination for now? Alexander seemed surprised by my question and frowned a bit while searching his mind. When I found the body, I immediately went to warn the advisor, and both of us rushed to see you. The only one who knows about it are the guards who were patrolling with me and your father's personal maid who was passing by. We knew it would be bad to attract attention, so I had her discreetly sent to the dungeon for interrogation. That is not the word. I don't care no more. Alright. How would the guards who were stationed before my father's door? Both are dead. Damn. I also had their corpse taken to the dungeon for examination. I paced the room, lost deep in thought. You're done well. Now we have to keep it all a secret. It's imperative that no one else hears about it. Uh-oh. He's like, about that, Your Grace. This won't be an easy secret to keep. Obviously, we won't be able to do that forever. I only need a few days, so I can't stay ahead of my own detractors. Alden looked thoughtfully for a few moments, and he nodded. I see. So you want to act before everyone else, which would give you the upper hand. Exactly. Very, very smart. I have no doubt that some people will want to take advantage of your situation. Even if you are unquestionably the rightful heir, your place will be fought over. But if you don't give them time to react, that could make things a greater could make things great deal easier. That's what I'm thinking too. I loved I love it if the situation was more straightforward. This is a little white lie, and the alternative is chaos of a wildly disputed succession. Alden nodded, and I continued developing the rest of my plan. In the meantime, pretend that His Majesty is not feeling well. Investigate discreetly. I see. I'll order all my men to stay silent. Also, to ensure that I haven't said a word so far about that. It might be wiser to ensure that they can't talk at all. Damn. Low grade staff is known for gossiping, even guards. Damn. Uh oh. My men are trustworthy. They would never disobey. Would you be willing to bet on that? If it could jeopardize the plans of your own new empress, to whom you have only just sworn allegiance to? Damn. And that maid, can you also guarantee she'll keep quiet? His teeth clenched, his hand gripping the hilt of his sword. Alexander looked. Alexander shook his head. The weight of Alan's words have also fallen heavily on my shoulders. I observed both men while contemplating my next steps. This decision is yours to make. Oh, fuck. But I strongly advise you to silence them for good. I don't think they should be killed for this shit. I ain't gonna hold you. If it get out, it get out. We just gotta deal with it. I don't know how you expect this. It's this. Oh, hold on. What I'm not getting is it's this nigga's birthday in 2 days, and y'all want them to keep quiet for longer than that. When that nigga birthday come around, when his birthday comes around, what the fuck are y'all gonna do? So I'm not gonna kill no niggas. However, there could be alternatives to consider. Or if you want to really keep them, throw everybody in jail that know. I ain't gonna hold you. Hold them down there until this shit done with. Such a decision could be taken lightly, because whatever I decide, I couldn't afford to regret it. Ugh. Oh, this is a bad choice. Oh, shit, we get 3? Shit. Have them killed. We'll pretend they were collateral damage of the assassin. I'm sorry, Alexander, but we cannot afford to take any risk. Ensure their loyalty by promising them a much better position once I'm crowned. Even if they are really tempted to talk about what happened, this should be good enough motivation to ensure their allegiance. When you explain to them that they mustn't say a word, they give them a few coin and promise them more once the secret has been revealed. And many times in the cage far away from here, that should be enough to guarantee silence. Okay. I'm liking this last one. Because I don't want to kill nobody. Let's be honest. I don't want to kill nobody. If there was something the Major had taught me, it was power of money. I was convinced that a very few shiny coins were enough to silence them. Applying extreme methods wouldn't be necessary. With all due respect, Your Grace, my guards won't let themselves be corrupted so easily. It's not about corruption, rather than about compensating them for their loyalty. It's just a matter of wording things correctly. Well, if you put it that way, in any case, it's much better than what the advisor suggested. Alden wasn't used to opposing decisions too openly, and he merely shrugged. I'm fine with that. I have more reservations than you do about the integrity of your guards, but that's an acceptable compromise. Time will tell if we were right. I'll go inform them. You'll see, Your Grace, you've made the right decision. Without further ado, he bowed once more and left the room with heavy steps. Alden seemed to be lost in thought for a moment, giving me time to come to my senses before he bowed down and returned. I must at least inform the Master of Murmurs of the situation so that we may launch a investigation. I nodded, aware of our lead spy discretion as well as efficiency. Once that is done, I'll come to you for a plan the rest of your ascent. Once more, I nodded in approval, glad to be offered a little interlude that will allow me to gather my thoughts and to dress decently while I was at it. After all, even if the coronation hadn't taken place yet, deep within my mind, within me, I knew I felt it. I was the Empress. Okay. Long live the Empress. Oh shit. Here we go. Day 8, morning. The sun is now been up for a few hours, promising a beautiful day, but I knew I wouldn't be able to appreciate it. Now that the rush of adrenaline from the news has passed, all I had left were doubts on the days to come, which were going to be exhilarating as much as terrifying. I was gambling my future along with Kalidia's, and I was a big deal. I had spent the past few hours readying myself and refining my details of my plan to appease my latent nervousness as best as I could, but that didn't help me shake off my main preoccupation, the servants. Like Alden said, I had made a risky decision, and I had been torturing myself for hours wondering if it was worth it. I was restless when I heard a knock and leaped to the door, opening it for Alan and letting him in. There, Your Grace, we have followed your orders. Oh, who the fuck is that? I had seen that he was accompanied by the Master of Murmurs, who came in after him. A slight discomfort washed over me. His role inside the palace was vital, but since I was a child, I've been terrified of his hidden face and that mysterious aura that surrounded him. Oh, he's valid. He got a valid face card. Nevertheless, my discomfort turned into amazement when I saw him remove his hood as if it were nothing and turn to face me. My brain had pictured the worst for years, and it was very unsettling to finally be able to put face to the man. I realized he wasn't as monstrous as I imagined. In fact, I was shocked that it made me forget the reason for my visitor's presence, which seemed to greatly amuse the Master of Murmurs. Is there a problem, Your Grace? No, it's just I didn't know you could show your face. To be honest, I do what I want, but in principle, I only remove my hood in the presence of my sovereign and their close collaborators. Though I like to entertain the mystery and nope, fucking hell for sure. That could come with the job. It would be far too dangerous for me to never reveal my face. Some people might use that to to use my identity. Yeah, I see. Though it was disconcerting. Why did I say disconnecting? Disconcerting. It was also rather reassuring to see that the man as important as the Master of Murmurs already acknowledged me as his servant. Alden cleared his throat to recall me to my duty, and I suddenly remembered the reason for the two men's presence, which immediately made my anxiety flare up. To keep myself from staring at the master spy, I faced my advisor and fully focused on him. Did everything go well? My anxiety must have been conspicuous, even if I was doing my best to put on a confident expression. The servants seemed convinced by your offer. They left the palace without complaining, so I suppose we can count that as a win. Okay. Despite all that, it's a bit early to be sure of anything. I gave the Master of Murmurs and Alexander the task of keeping a close eye on the situation. The Master of Murmurs slowly nodded in assent. We'll know more tomorrow, but for the time being, there's nothing to report. Okay, good. I lift my eyes to meet my advisors, and I flashed Aiden a reassuring smile, clearly He read my emotions better than I had thought. I couldn't allow myself to visibly waver at such critical time. I know though. I know that. And what's done is done. Now we must focus on the future. Bring the high priest to the council room. I need him to contact the quadrator. Robert is a pianist man. Are you sure it's a good idea to confide in him? Everyone likes to think the devil never lie, but one doesn't obtain a place like his without cheating a little. I admit that the idea of lying to him came to me for a fleeting moment, but to fool him would be a complex task, and I'll be needing his support when the time comes. The people must put great stock in men of faith. Very well, Your Majesty. Will that be all? Yes, thank you. Alright, day, afternoon. Oh, hell no, boy, they got that tattoo. You summon me, Your Grace? Yes, thank you for coming, Robert. I gestured him to sit down while I settled behind my father's posing desk. Like I had predicted, my behavior made him lift a curious brow, but I pretended not to notice. I won't beat around the bush. My father, the Emperor, died during the night. Clearly, we had done a pretty good job at keeping the secret, since the shock on his face seemed genuine. But what? But how? And why am I just learning about it now? I need to pray first, so I tried to appease him with a wave of my hand, inviting him to sit back down, but he looked like he was about to get up. He was murdered. For this time being, we're keeping his death a secret so we can investigate without causing any sort of panic. It was the Master of Murmur's idea. He convinced he'll be able to find an assassin more easily this way. Drowning in information, High Price slumped in his chair and took in my half-truths while I assumed a saddened expression. It's truly a tragic situation. Keeping quiet and hiding my mourning is a very hard task for me. I know it's a lot to ask of you, but you need to keep this a secret. I want to do everything in my power to uncover the murder, especially since I'm scared he could come after me. Once more, I was quite proud of my quivers in my voice, and my acting seemed to be effective since I saw a spark of compassion light up in his face. I understand now why the general was guarding your door like a common soldier. With a closed expression on my face, I nodded, searching for the right words. The first and main reason I've summoned you here is that I could confide in you and ask to pray for my departed father's soul. Of course, Your Majesty. I locked myself up in the great temple to dedicate myself to that task. My face still sad. I gave him a tight, grateful smile, but inside I felt relieved. His prayers should keep him busy enough that he wouldn't be tempted to reveal everything. Now that I can move on from the true reason his presence is here. But before that, this saddens me, but I have another favor to ask of you. Of course, Your Grace, what is it? Well, Alden and I are afraid that all the upstarts across the kingdom will rush to the castle and try to stir up the throne as soon as my father's death is made public. And they agree they may forget the line. My line sits on the throne by the grace of the four. So I like to send a letter to the quadrator and have him support my congregation, and as well as reaffirm my legitimacy. Once more, he stays silent. I'll try to hide behind the veil of sadness. I hated that my plans depended on a single person, but I didn't have a choice. Only rulers and high priests could hope to quickly reach the ultimate leader of the cardinals, yeah. And I technically wasn't empress yet. I understand, yes. Your Magnus V is the only legitimate child. The throne should be yours. That said, I don't know if the Quadra will approve of your event. Perhaps if you were married, ain't that shit, your candidacy would be less inappropriate. I feel my body tense up at the words and hold on. It took me all I had to conceal how irritated I was by this reminder. I knew I knew I would be told such things. I had mentally prepared myself for it, but obviously it hadn't been enough. It's an issue, yes, and I'll do my best to find a fitting husband quickly, but you'll agree that I cannot entrust the throne of Calidia to just anyone. I have plenty of tutors, but I need some time to study each and every one of them. That's not something that can be done in a couple of days or even weeks. In the meantime, we do have someone to lead the country and make sure it doesn't sink into chaos. If a regent were to be appointed, I'm afraid he might refuse to give the throne back to me and my husband, which will lead to the whole country into a bloodbath. No one wants to see another era of murderous plots like during Magnus' third time. You're right. Your Grace, we cannot let such a tragedy befall us. I'll go write the letter to the quadrator right away to express support for your congregation and explain our situation. Satisfied, I let out a sigh of relief. I thank you for the support, High Priest Robert. It means a lot. Damn, hold on. Swiftly, I opened one of the discs, drawers, and pulled out a thin, sealed letter. While I was waiting for you, I humbly wrote a few words destined for the quadrator. We never met, and I hope this will help him get to know me a little as well as I reassure him of my faith in the four. I was thinking that perhaps it would be so kind as to add it to your own correspondence. Once more, he seemed to be caught off guard, but he smiled instantly and enthusiastically. Of course, Your Majesty, it's a great idea. Relieved, I gave him the letter in question, while thanking him once more for his support and his help in these unpretense times. I only hope he did not have the audacity to break the seal, because even if it did contain a few cliches on my virtues, the letter mostly made promises that would actually motivate the quadrator. Hold on, let's see. I knew that gold made the world go round, and so I promised a hefty donation to the great temple. Let's see. I knew that he had a close bond with his nephew, a knight who had contracted a debt of honors towards my father and serving him for years as a repayment. Let's go the night way. To play with a man as powerful as a quadrator, and I wasn't talking about his possible connection to the gods, but his actual worldly power was a risky move, but it was all worth it. The dice has been cast. I can only hope to prepare the field for the conquest of the Chaldean nobility. Dang. It's only one day. Damn. Alright. Despite my desire to act, for the time being, I couldn't do anything but wait for the quadrator's answer. Even if the letter had left that very morning, Meridian was far away, and I knew I couldn't hope for an answer for at least 3 days. I had to chop at a bit and act naive. My first thought was to mingle with the court so I could clear my head. What the hell? Ooh, yeah, it's hitting tired. I know it's like 3 a.m. or something. But then pretending that nothing was up and feeding rumors to justify my father's absence was more frustrating than doing nothing. Even Majora's presence irritated me. Despite her advanced age, as soon as she turned her inquisitive eyes onto me, I had the impression she managed to perceive through them. Perceive the truth. I don't know if it said. And so I had taken refuge in the library, hoping to read a little. But in all honesty, even if I managed to unscramble a few words, my thoughts were far away and my mind was replaying the events of the previous night, asking myself again and again if I had done the right thing. Your Grace. Shit. Oh, here he come. It better be some good news, nigga. Your Grace, forgive me for bothering you during your readings, but we have more news about the witnesses. Fuck. Despite the mystery he shrouded in his words, I knew exactly what he was referring to. That was enough to pull me out of my boring book. With a glance, I surveyed the library to make sure we were fully alone before motioning for him to continue. I'm listening. What's going on? God damn it. Just as I feared, a few gold we gave to the servants weren't enough. One of them, a soldier. A fucking soldier. I should have cut them niggas' tongues off. Okay. Yo. I ain't listening to Alexander. Fuck that nigga. He off the roster now. I ain't gonna hold you. One of your soldiers. It wasn't even the fucking maid. Yo, one of your bitch ass niggas. Now I gotta deal with this shit. Alright, let me read. For one of them, a soldier named Bruhan has understood the value of his secret and now is trying to blackmail us. Okay. So, hey, bring him up to the room real quick. I'm gonna talk to him. Cut that nigga. It was instead a possibility I hadn't considered. To my greatest shame, I didn't think that he'd be so cunning enough to know the value of this important secret. We can consider ourselves lucky that he still hasn't tried to sell that information to any of the political enemies. I'm sure that Baron of Leviosis, for example, would have paid a good price to get his hands on it. I gather we don't have many options. We can kill that motherfucker. We don't indeed. Either we pay him or make sure he shut up. He up for good this time. Oh yeah, give it a choice. I'm finna kill that nigga. I would have liked to protest, but seeing how my own methods have failed, I couldn't well take offense when he offered just such a drastic solution. The only upside is that if we pay, he won't be able to indefinitely blackmail us. In a few days, I'll have the Curator's answer. My father's death will be officially announced. His words won't have any value from there on out. It's how bold that nigga is. Nigga, you know I'm finna be next up on Empress, and you dare test me. You know this is important. You see all these other motherfuckers ain't saying shit, but your greedy ass. I gave some money, bitch, and your greedy ass wanna get some more. Got it. Look at this. Excessively greedy, yeah. Couldn't we just lock them up until things go back to normal? I said that at the beginning. I said, let's just lock all these niggas up. But it's an option. But he'll try to rally up all the guards and the other prisoners in the dungeon if we arrest him under false pretense. And if we were to kidnap him, when we release him, I doubt it'll be great optics for us. Kill that nigga. When he had laid out that, in fairness, it was obviously a bad idea. Only first two options remained, and none of them really appealed to me. Is he asking a lot? Like I said, he understood the worth of the secret, but fortunately for us, he's not used to the same order of magnitude we are. The sum he requests is still reasonable. Okay. But once again, I would advise against it. Showing weakness at this stage could turn to be a fatal. That's what I'm saying. I might have to go with my bro on this one. I might have to go with my advisor on this one. Sorry, I took time to think about my decision before sharing it. Why is there three options? I'm killing that nigga. Fuck that nigga. Alexander, I gave your nigga a chance. Now your greedy ass soldier coming to me. Huh? I tried to be a pacifist, but since he wants to double cross me, I have no choice. You're right, Alden. If I start letting people blackmail me, I'll never be respected. Bam, that one. Bam, that one. I hope. Let's read it. Let's read it. Sorry. I hope I won't regret it, but I don't think stacking up bodies is the solution. Pay him what he asks, and make sure he understands that if he tries to abuse our kindness, he'll make to regret it. After due consideration, I think this poor man doesn't know what he's up against. Send a few agents to remind him of his place. That should be enough to calm him down and make him forget his demands. Ooh. I don't know. Because, alright, here's what could happen, right? This one is dumb as shit. Because now he really gonna blackmail. He gonna blackmail. He gonna blackmail and run away with the money. That ain't gonna go. This one. We going out like a bitch and we giving these niggas more money. Like, what is you asking for? You don't deserve that shit. This one, I might have to go with this one. You, how dare you blackmail me? Kill your ass. Fuck it. All to improve. Clearly glad that I finally decided to use his methods. You're doing the right thing, Your Grace. I'll go inform the Master of Murmurs of your decision, and I'll make sure everything is done with the utmost discretion. I hope so. If it came to be known that I assassinate my subjects, that wouldn't be a best advertisement for my rule. Oh, that wouldn't. I didn't think about that. Oh, fuck. Worry not. Consider this problem solved. I'm counting on you, Alden. In light of my answer, he bowed once more before exiting the room, his attitude as professional as ever, leaving me alone in my doubts. Nighttime, alright. It was already late when the Master of Murmurs knocked on my door to inform me of the evolution of the situation. Despite the late hour, I managed to close my eyes at all and anxiously waited to hear about the assassination. I knew well that these methods were common in the murky waters which I now swam. But it was my first time and I couldn't shake off the feeling that there were so many variables that could turn against me. The Master of Murmurs took his time to start talking and I lost my patience. So how did it go? Well, we can say that we reached our goal. The blackmailer is dead. Unfortunately, he had a foresight to bring... Yeah, okay. Alright, he had a foresight to bring reinforcements, which jumped on our agents. We managed to overcome them and eliminate all witnesses. We lost 2 worthy men in the fight. It had to be done. Hey, RIP to the niggas, eh? Relieved that the whole ordeal is over, I sympathize with the Master of Murmurs. Hold on. Why did that guard have to be so greedy? Things would have been far easier if he hadn't tried to take advantage of the situation. I'm truly sorry about your men. We'll throw a ceremony in their honor when it's all over. Master Murmur shook his head with a melancholic smile, whatever. Don't worry, Your Majesty. They were sort of men who live in the shadows. They've hated a public remembrance. On that note, if you allow me, I have many tasks left to accomplish. Yes, of course. He bowed. I remained alone to myself, and I couldn't stop wondering at victory and how bitter it sometimes tasted. Alright. Your Grace, this is a little premature, but should you become the Empress, you'll need to manage the kingdom's policies. I like to make sure if you're ready for such as. Shit. As you already know, the kingdom's policies influence how your subjects, noble and otherwise, view you, but also what resources you'll have available to us. Use attack rates for people and for nobility. As you may have guessed, the higher they are, the less happy people will be, but the faster the coffers will fill up. But there are many other things, such more subtle. For example, you can decide on how to open your trade borders, should be, or which sectors of the economy you like to focus on. Oh. We could also consider how to protect ourselves from our neighbors, especially bearing in mind Varga's ward weight inclinations. But maintaining an army is very, very expensive. Damn. I need one. As such, investing in diplomacy may offer better results in the long run. And finally, we have to manage the priests. Their influence on the people is immense. They have infractors all over the nations. Our frame made to them are never wasted. We set up regular periods of time during which we collect earnings, but there will be a short delay before the consequences of any changes you make can be seen. Alright. Is that clear now? Alright. That's true, but the best way to approach the subject is a more concrete manner. You should look into it yourself. It is. Damn. Even if I'll only be doing this work after my coronation, may I try it? May I try my hand at it now? I'm sure there are things that I'd like to change in my father's policies. Oh shit! All right. I'm cool with moderate. Kind of will be focused on. You're already getting money, so we'll focus on farming. Oh shit! It says it right there. Yeah, we gotta get this people shit up. Yeah, we got enough money. We'll be nice for now. Your Grace, Your Grace. Dawn has barely risen when I hear a what? Kerfuffle. A kerfuffle at the door. I don't even know what the fuck it is. And I immediately recognize Robert's voice. I got up with a groan and quickly sipped on the dress, trying to make myself presentable before opening the door. High Priest, what's going on? I try to remain as neutral as possible. I was burning up with the mix of anxiety and excitement because I had a solid guess as to what it is about. The porter, he answered, Your Majesty. Nervous, he handed me 2 letters bearing the recognizable seal of His Holiness. Your name is written on them. I didn't dare open it, Your Highness. Exhilarated, I looked at 2 pieces of paper. They were about to seal my future. One seemed official while the other one was expedited Ex- what? Explicitly for my eyes only. I could have liked to be alone when reading them both. Clearly, it had taken Robert all he had not to break the wax on the seal of the official letter, and now he had stared at me impatiently. My throat was dry as I grabbed the paper cutter to open the correspondence. My heart was beating so fast I had an impression everyone in this room could hear it. Alright, what did it say? Don't let it be no bullshit. Oh, please tell me we did the right thing. Lady Mason of Terranfield, daughter of Magnus V of Terranfield, the fierce Emperor of Cledia. The four have spoken and have recognized you as the legitimate heir. Okay. Yeah, the crown Cledia, by virtue of your blood and despite your gender. By this decree, I convey the words of the gods. May you governance be respected by all and just as pious. Hold on. May your rule prosper and never stray from the forest faith. Vermer Quadra by the grace of the four. Good shit. Alright, we locked it in. I was shaking so hard, I felt my legs give in. I had to sit on the bed. I didn't fall over. I have done everything in my power to make this moment happen. But now that it was upon me, I was engulfed by all the emotions I had accumulated in the past week. Damn. Robert seemed to understand me and he bowed to leave a few seconds. So I could open. He finally spoke up. That was marvelous, Your Majesty. I knew the four could acknowledge your legitimacy. Almost timidly, I nodded and tried to recover my usual composure. With the coordinator support, my coronation was sure to happen, but that didn't mean I was rid of enemies or other contenders. I couldn't let my guard down yet. Yes, time has come for everyone to know the truth. Gather the nobles in the castle at dawn and prepare the pigeons. He nodded, a grave expression on his face. Yes, we can't wait any longer. The secret of your father couldn't have been kept indefinitely with any case. It was true that his absence had been going on for a while, and a possible illness worried people such as a possible death. It was fortunate that these letters hadn't taken too long to arrive. I'll be there. I need to finish getting ready. Of course, Your Majesty, I have the bells rung, but at such an early time, I don't suppose we can gather everyone in less than an hour. I approved with a polite nod as soon as I watched him leave the door. Finally, on my own, I collapsed on the bed and let myself gloat. I whooped in pure childish joy as I read the curator's letter over and over again. I knew that I had plenty of challenges ahead of me, but this was my first victory against traditions, and I intended to savor it as long as I could. Only a few long minutes had passed. I did decide to open the second letter, which was addressed to me personally. As much as I appreciate your gesture, I don't appreciate the opinion you seem to have on me. My acts and my words are guided by the four themselves. I don't exchange blessings for favors. Hope you remember this in the future. Okay. So whatever we would have picked, he would have felt a certain way. Got it. I got up with a sigh and held my parchment over a candle long enough for it to catch on fire before throwing it into the cold fireplace. Even if he denied, I was convinced that my little intentions had played out in my favor. He just wanted to reaffirm the ethics behind which he hid. But all the powerful people in this world knew that he was a man appreciative of small favors, and that not doing him any could end up causing one harm. Damn, 18. Make sure not to overexert yourself. You're spending your days locked up in the office. You should get out there a bit to clear your head. Come take a walk with this old lady. I had left the door open, and although I haven't heard Mordred's come over to me, I wasn't surprised since her perfume, which she appealed too liberally, had filled the room. I almost felt nostalgic for one moment. Contrary to what she seemed to suggest, I wasn't here for pleasure. I was overwhelmed. Invitations, solicitations, promises. I spent the last 3 days flattering Callidian nobility to ensure that nothing would interfere with the coronation in 3 weeks' time, and I still had a lot to do. Or perhaps you can fool everyone, but I know that you're far from being an old lady, Majora. My reply made her laugh. A hoarse and joyous sound that bellied what I had just said. Oh, I still have the same quick wit I had when I was 20. I'm afraid my whining bones disagree with you, sweetheart. Come on, don't be cruel. You already broke my poor heart when you didn't let me in on the secret. I put the quill down with a sigh and closed the inkwell, hoping its content would not dry out. She had taught me many things. Even if I had grown stronger than her in a few areas, it was obvious that she still used guilt like no one else. She almost made me feel bad for hiding my father's death from her. You know full well I didn't have a choice. The information had to be disclosed to as few people as possible. I know, sweetheart. But I would have liked to be there for you. These past few days must have been easy. No, they weren't intended. As I promised, I walked by Major's side through the garden, but we couldn't take one step before some servant or noble offered me their condolences. I'm so tired of pretending to be sad. I know your father was a flawed man. She paused, looking at me as she seemed to hesitate to say something. I looked at her, intrigued. There was so much contempt in her voice when she spoke of his flaws that she obviously knew he was up to something. Something I probably didn't. But no matter what anyone says, he was your family, your blood. You shouldn't hate him like that. It's not healthy, especially now that he's dead. I sensed from her tone that I get nothing more from her, at least not today. I didn't insist, draping myself over once again in my indignity. No, that's too easy. You can't just die and expect that all your mistakes will be forgiven. It's not that he chose to die, and so it doesn't change anything. She sighed, and I decided to change the subject before I had listened to another lecture of the importance of family bonds. But since we're speaking of forgiveness, I need your help. Suspicious she frowned, although she's walking calm between the flower beds. I would like if you gave me what? Fire Castle? The old dilapidated fortress? What for? Pretending to admire some insects that were dying around the planters, I hesitated for a second. I needed the fortress to buy the Faram loyalties, but a majority held a deep hatred for them. You want to do? Why do you gotta do that? Oh, she gonna hate your ass. I didn't like lying to her, but I couldn't run the road. Yeah, after I'm the tour, but I couldn't run the risk that she'd refuse my request. She just said she only lying her. And I would even double back her. This my road dog. This my teacher. You know what I'm saying? I need it because I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it back to farm. Upon hearing my words, Major froze, trembling with anger. You want to give it back to those vile traitors? Do you know how many men died storming it? Do you know what the fortress cost me? I knew she would react this way, even though the war had ended about 20 years ago. She still bore painful memories of it. Yes, I know all that, but it took, but it, what? But it all took place before my birth. It's time we move forward and reconcile with the farming, lest we repeat the mistakes of the past. I don't want another farmer revolt under my rule. I need their support for my coronation, and to obtain that, I need Firecastle. My old auntie grumbled for a few long minutes, but she was forced to concede my point, even if it cost her. Do what you want, but believe me, once you become Empress, I'll call in the favor. Thank you, Major. I knew I could count on you. Relieved, I finally let out a breath. I had a release. Realized I've been holding in. Knowing the affection Marjorie held for me, I knew that I'll end up convincing her. But as all I had, what? But as I had a meeting with the farm and hair, in 4 days I didn't have a lot of room for errors. With one less issue weighing on my heart, I continued to walk with a bounce in my step, forgetting for a few minutes the court's problems and plots. Alright, I'm off of this one. I don't know what. Who that? I gotta see who that is. Oh, okay. He ain't bad. He ain't bad at all. He like he give me Arabic. You know the funny. Hold on, let me save this real quick. We'll call it part 1. Did it save it? I bet. Yeah, that should be taking long as hell. There we go.